All right, guys, and welcome back to the TSV YouTube channel for something content for another video. We're all here, all four of us, and we thought there's been quite a bit in the news recently in terms of transfers, a possible takeover. We thought it'd be a good idea to sit down, have a chat about all of it, and sort of what we think. So I've got Tom, Liam, and Josh with me. Boys, how are we?
Yeah, we're good. Thanks for you.
I didn't know if anyone saw that, but they're good. That's all you need to know. But we'll start with the transfers. I think that's the best way to do it. Recently, if you follow us on our social medias, you'll see that we've been posting quite a bit about a few players that have been linked with moves to Southampton in the summer. Obviously, we're still talking about transfers because it's, you know, the transfer window opens in less than a month now. And I know we've got the coronavirus going on at the moment, but we've still got to be thinking about these players that will be coming in. So the first one, now, if anyone knows about this guy, then please, by all means, let us know. Evan DICKA, I had a little look at him. From Frankfurt, he's still only 20, Frenchman, and he's one of France's sort of bright prospects. Liam, mate, I'm sure you know a bit about him because you were going to try and sign him for the career mode. Who is he and why are Saints interested?
He's a bright young centre-back, 6'4", obviously a French international. He's played a lot for the under-21s. He's played a lot for Mencano, who we were linked with ages ago, but obviously that's never going to happen. Played in Euro under-21s last summer, I'm pretty sure. He's left-footed. He can play left-back as well. So he's very versatile, and he's a bit like Dan Burn for Brighton. He's quite tall. He can play centre-back, can play left-back. So yeah, he's a bright prospect that he'd probably fit our system, to be honest.
I mean, it's promising. I think if we're going to be going for a defender, that's probably, in terms of, I guess, physique, that's sort of the player we should be going for because, you know, let's be honest, I think it's going to be Jack Stevens that gets taken for us. I know he's had such a good season this year. But I think if you got Bednarek, who's, 3 years younger, you know, there's more potential there. But Tom, do you think if we're going for a young defender, I mean, literally just in his 20s, do you think that's a risk?
I think it depends on the fee, obviously, but I don't think it's a massive risk. The centre-back position has been quite a big problem for us for ages, really, since Fontaine Van Dijk. Obviously, we had Stevens and Bednarek come in this year and do pretty well, really. But whenever we had Hoyt last season and Vestergaard this season, they've just not really done well. So I don't think it's a huge risk. And from what Liam says, he sounds like he's a good player. So I don't see much risk attached to it.
Right, and then another player that we've been linked with this week, who's actually a current Southampton player technically, Kyle Walker-Peters. There's been talk about him possibly looking for a permanent move at Southampton, out of favour under Mourinho at Spurs, hardly played under him. Josh, mate, I know he's only played one game for us, but do you think Kyle Walker-Peters is the way to go in terms of a right back?
There's no doubt he's a decent player. He looked all right against Burnley. He had quick feet and looked good attacking-wise and defensively. He's quite small and weak, though, so he did get beat against quite physical players in that game. Yeah, we just haven't seen much of him. We've already got Valerie, and we've been linked to Mail from Genk for the last year or so. And honestly, I'd rather get him, as he's only, 22, I think, and looks bright. But Kyle Walker-Peters, I mean, I don't think we can judge him just yet, but he probably wouldn't be my first choice, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think I've spoken to a few Spurs fans and none of them rate him very highly. They've said, yeah, you can take him. And it's interesting you spoke about Mailer there. He plays for Genk. I'm pretty convinced that if we were going to be buying either or, I think Mailer's price tag would probably be half of what Walker-Peters would be. So, yeah, that'd be a
I think they were saying a lot that with Mahaile, he actually wants to come here. He's wanted to come here for the last year since we've been linked with him. And he was saying that he's, basically dreaming that we approached Genk again and he wants to really sign for us. So a big good player who actually wants to play for the club, really.
But I think at the end of the day, Kyle Walker-Peters' days at Spurs are probably numbered. I can't see how he'd get into the current setup there. So, yeah, I think I agree with you, Josh. I think I'd rather go for the young European right-back with European experience, experience of winning football matches, albeit at a low-level league. But, yeah, he's the one that seems like a brighter prospect and better value for money. And then 2 more players have also been linked with us this week, also centre-backs. And, if any of you know who he is, I think Liam might know one of these guys. we've got jean-clair TODIBO and Axel DISASI. Now, TODIBO is currently on loan at Schalke, but is contracted to Barcelona. Another young Frenchman, 20 years old, literally the same as DICKA in that sort of aspect. But it's been reported that Everton are very strongly linked, and other Premier League clubs and other European clubs. So obviously, if Everton are in the sort of race for him, I guess they're probably leading it because obviously they've got the financial willpower. But then DISASI apparently available for about £13 million. Arsenal and Spurs are very strongly linked as well. But the Daily Mail was saying this week that Southampton are pretty confident of signing him. Liam, out of those two, who do you think would be the better fit if either of them?
Probably quite hard, to be honest. I've seen a lot more of TODIBO, but he is more expensive. He's basically been offered to Schalke at the end of the season for around about 25 million euros. And he seems like a bright prospect. But I have watched a bit of Sassy, so watched a bit of him the other day. He's ball playing centre back, actually with Reims at the moment at fifth, and we finished fifth in Ligue 1. It's bright prospect, only £30 million as well. So we're taking a risk, but we're technically not as well. But I think he'd be great for our setup. He can ping a ball from centre back. He's confident with the ball at his feet, and he's a very good defender, standing up tackle. He doesn't really commit a lot, so he's a double player that we'd definitely be looking for, and he'd be a good fit for Southampton, really, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. When I was Googling him, I'll be honest, I'd never heard of Reims before. I thought they were second division French team, and then I looked at the table. I said it in the group chat. I looked at the table, I was like, oh, they've actually finished sixth. Like, they're a Europa League side, and that was quite embarrassing. So, yeah, top level French defender, or French league defender, I think, out of all three of them, he's probably the one that I think would be the best fit, only because the price tag, obviously attracting interest from bigger clubs as well. It'd be a bit
massively.
If we could get him to sign. But it's not just transfers we've been talking about this week on the social media and sort of in the news as well. Talks for takeover. Now, it's been something that I think has been on the cards probably for about a year now. Obviously, Jishen Gao bought the club with a majority stake of 80% in, I want to say, September 2017. So coming up 3 years even. Do we think this is worth getting excited about? Sky was saying a private American business looking to invest, but it's been held up by the coronavirus. Tom, what do we make of this?
I don't think it'll happen. I listened to Martin Sellers on People's Radio 7 on Saturday, and he said it's the first he sort of heard of it, and nothing's going to happen. So I think that's the right word to take, and I just can't see it happening, unfortunately, as much as we could do with a cash intake. Like, it looks like Newcastle going to get, for example. That'd be great, but I just don't think we're going to get anything, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I listened to a bit of Martin Sellers' interview, but isn't it his job to sort of say that essentially? Because it looks bad on the image of the club if he says, yeah, basically our owner, he wants to sell, we're just waiting for someone to buy. Like, it doesn't. It's not. It's not good PR, especially at the moment with the coronavirus going on. But I mean, some people were speculating on Twitter that it was Robert Kraft behind the bid, who basically owns the New England Patriots, meaning he has got bottomless pockets. So if that's the case, then big takeover coming up. But Josh, we've spoken about it plenty of times. Jishen Gao, I mean, is it even worth talking? Is it even worth talking about what we think about him?
Right, I don't think he's done as bad as people have said over Twitter and social media. I think we've always been the sort of club that generates our own money through selling the players and then buying the players to replace them. A chairman's never really invested that much into the club, but obviously we would benefit from a new chairman, injecting some money into the club. As I mean, Ralph needs to be back. Clearly, he's a great manager, and if he can get backed by the board, by the owner, I think we could push towards the top 10 and maybe Europa in the coming years. So it would definitely be beneficial. But as of now, we know that Zhao is not going to inject any money. So yeah, we would benefit from some sort of takeover.
Yeah, I agree with that. His time at the club hasn't been as drastic as people have sort of made it out to be. I think, we've spent near around £100 million in summer transfer window or general transfers since he's been owner, which is, it's not bad for us. But I think, well, I personally, I don't know about you guys, but I personally worry about where the money's going to come from this summer if we're going to look to buy anyone, because obviously we've lost out on, I mean, apparently we're talking 100, 200, maybe even 300 million pounds of TV revenue with the season being cancelled. And if it's not resumed, match day revenue, I'd imagine, was probably 1 million every home game. So, you know, we've lost a lot of the club's sort of incoming funds. So yeah, hopefully he does invest. But obviously we're talking about a takeover. Josh just mentioned top half Europa if there's more investment. How big is this summer window, Liam, do you think, in terms of the club progressing? You know, is it a case of, I'll just get one player in and that might make the difference? Or do you really think we need to have a big window to make a difference?
Oh, this window's absolutely massive. We've got the manager that we've wanted for the last couple of years. And we've got so much deadwood on loan we have to get rid of. Because, as you know, with Gal, we aren't going to buy anyone if we don't sell. And I understand why he's coming from, because considering the way we've spent in the last 2 or 3 years, we've spent quite a lot of money, to be honest. Just hasn't been the right players. Like, wasted 36 million on both Vestergaard and Hoyt, which was just an absolute nightmare. And, you know, it's about just getting the right players in, getting prospects through, and actually essentially doing our old ways, hopefully coming through youth, but obviously buying young players, and hopefully we'll have them for the future instead of having to buy any more players, really.
Yeah, I think what you said about selling players is absolutely vital. Tom and I said it a few weeks ago in our loan player video. You know, there's about £60 million worth of talent there, simple as. But overall, boys, I think if we could get one of those centre-backs, I'd be quite happy. Mailer as well, instead of Walker-Peters, that'd be my personal preference in terms of a right-back, if it's between those two. And then I can't really think where else the priorities will lie. I mean, obviously it depends on who we sell. If Højbjerg goes, another midfielder. But apart from that, you know, I think it will be those two positions as the priority. But obviously we've got to see what happens. Transfer window opens in a few weeks. And of course, if there's more news, we'll do another video like this. So guys, if you have enjoyed the video, leave it a like and subscribe if you haven't yet already, with your notifications turned on. Follow us on all of our socials. And let us know in the comment section what you thought of this video, what you think about the rumours that have been going around this week, and whether you'd like to see another one of these. Take care at home, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.